Good evening, good afternoon, good night, and good morning. Thank you for tuning in to RETV News Break. I am Ty.
And I'm Nicole. Every week, Ty and I come to you here with the RETV News Break. Our goal is to bring you a dose of positive news and conversation that makes you feel good and will share with others. In our first story, NBC reports, after more than a decade as a mortgage underwriter at USAA, Brenda Gentry resigned in October of 2021. Rather than continue in traditional finance, she pivoted to crypto full-time. Now Gentry runs a crypto consulting firm, which she launched after leaving her job. The San Antonio resident sees crypto as a way to accumulate and pass on generational wealth. She and her family are excited about the unprecedented opportunities offered by crypto, Gentry 46 says at CNBC Make It. Before going all in and leaving her steady 9-to-5, Gentry began investing in cryptocurrencies during the COVID-19 breakdown in 2020. She started small, but gradually began investing more. By early 2021, she had garnered substantial gains. In 6 months, my portfolio surpassed my 401k, which had taken 11 years to get to $200,000, Gentry says. She acknowledges that cryptocurrency is a risky investment, but her experience in finance and process of due diligence helps her feel comfortable investing in the space. Now Gentry is widely known as the crypto mom online. She continues to personally invest in digital assets, but mainly runs Gentry Media Productions with her daughter Cynthia, 23, and Imani Gentry, 19. The firm advises decentralized finance and fungible token projects, and Gentry typically makes between 10 and 20 Ether, which is around $40,000 to $80,000 from the business each month. In comparison, she made about $75,000 annually in her past job. Can you say that is a true come up?
Yeah, for sure. I don't know about you, but I would like to be able to do that as well. That makes absolutely no sense. Like, what are we doing that we're that far behind? We're not that far behind, but it's just interesting how people know what is coming before it comes. Like, we're hearing about NFTs and these type of things as they go along. But yeah, like, wow.
And the fact that she has surpassed what she gained in her 401k in 11 years, she essentially has surpassed that in just 3-4 months,
and is now known as the crypto mom.
Yeah, I thought it was a very inspiring story.
That's pretty dope.
Congratulating her for taking the risk, and not just taking the risk, but being a student and being very diligent in understanding the industry and how it works. I know it has its pitfalls, just like any investment, but the fact that she went out, trusted herself, did her homework, and now she and her family are reaping the benefits.
So I'm glad you mentioned that part. She and her family, because she brought her 2 daughters into
Which
as
is
well.
A very smart move to even teach them in their late teens, early 20s on how to be able to invest in that space as well.
Yeah, that's pretty dope, because now it's like passing along. We always talk about, our family specifically talks about passing along a legacy and passing down businesses and things like that. She's able to do this with, like you said, a child that's 19 and another one that's 23. Like, yeah, that's so now that they have something that they can start off, their lives with, their adulthood, well, not their lives, but their adulthoods with, and be able to take it even further, grow into it, and then potentially pass it down to their kids if they choose to have kids as well. That's pretty dope. Next up, from iconic Source magazine covers to mural plastered walls, there is a new selfie experience where you can find yourself immersed in the magic of Black culture. Denver's Culture Museum is where you can witness Black visionaries come to life through memories and shared history. The grand opening of the Culture Museum took place on Martin Luther King Jr. weekend in Denver's 5 Points neighborhood. As a product of the community and family, the museum was established by Charlie Billingsley and Vaughn Ross, her aunt. Together, they created space where Black culture is unapologetically interactive and celebrated. Billingsley is no stranger to the entrepreneurial success. The recent installment of the Culture Museum is the Artist and Entrepreneur's second installment in Denver following the Museum for Black Girls, which debuted in 2019 and is now touring in Houston. I quote, "Living in Denver, people are always asking me, where are the black people? Where are the black hangouts? I couldn't really think of many, so I wanted to create a space for us to come," Billingsley told Travel Noir. As Denver resident, Billingsley was determined to create opportunities for black artists to express their unique stories with community in mind. The co-owners collaborated with local Colorado artists of color to contribute to the installation's features. I quote again, "We are here to elevate black creators who might not otherwise get opportunities like this," Billingsley told 303 Magazine. Humbly described as the selfie museum with heart, everything is interactive. The space is divided into rooms in which each exhibits a different experience. Visitors can sit in the barber's chair at a mock barbershop, square up against the likes of Mike Tyson in a boxing ring, or flip cards at game night with the table. With music spinning and talented artists all around, people come in to reconnect their roots. Along with the Cultural Museum, the duo is committed to the success of the Museum for Black Girls, a space celebrated Black girl magic, as well as educate about the journey of our present state in liberation, as per its website. The goal is to take the exhibits to different cities. Right now, as we are looking at DC and Atlanta next, Billingsley said. The Culture Museum is located at 1421 26th Street in Denver. Tickets are for sale on the website, theculturemuseum.com. It is open Friday through Sunday only, and time slots span from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. Oh, and by the way, tickets are $22.
That's very affordable.
Mm-hmm.
Very innovative as far as the idea. And it brings in not only revenue for the culture and the community, but also gives the artists exposure to their talented work. That's another reason that I want to go to Denver.
Exactly. I mean, that's pretty dope because we've seen recently there are places that have like these I don't want to call them selfie places, but to have one that's actually dedicated to the African American culture and experience, in addition to the one that they had previously launched for Black Girl Magic or Black Girls, as well. That's actually in the process of traveling. So they're actually taking it from city to city, looking, right now touring in Houston, but being able to also go from DC to Atlanta to hopefully some additional other cities. That's pretty dope. I'm actually looking forward to seeing, hopefully it will come to an area near us or possibly even near you, and you all can even check it out as well. But yeah, that is definitely a reason if you are in the Denver area or if you're traveling to Denver, that is definitely a spot to go check out while you're there in Denver. I know I definitely want to, and I like to see how it's interactive.
Right.
Because they say, most people take selfies and you can just take your selfie and just call it a day, but there's interactiveness to these selfies, so that's pretty interesting. Yeah,
we're creative. I just love it.
Yeah, Black people magic, or in this case, Black girl magic because there's two women, but Black people magic, pretty dope.
Love it.
Pretty dope.
Yes. Imagine going from being bullied at school to using it as fuel to create your own business, and to top it off, pitching it to arguably one of the toughest investment panels there is. It's the story behind young entrepreneur Tanya Speaks and her beauty brand, Tanya Speaks Organic Skincare. The 19-year-old landed the opportunity to be on ABC's Shark Tank and walked away with a deal with Mark Cuban. Speaks landed her deal with the billionaire entrepreneur with only few moments to spare. The tough cookie requested $400,000 investment deal along with a negotiated 15% stake, and her wish was granted. I quote, "I couldn't have asked for a better outcome. Like, it was amazing. They even said I would sit there one day and be a shark. That's the highest compliment I've ever had," Speaks excitedly shared. While Cuban initially passed on investing into Speaks' brand, it's her inspiring backstory and dedication that flipped his decision. And I quote, "Honestly, I thought somebody was going to make me an offer," he admitted. I said, this isn't my wheelhouse, but my wheelhouse is helping guide amazing entrepreneurs like yourself and helping them deal with the legal landmines that come along. Following his offer, he was visibly choked up while adding 2 contingencies for the young CEO to meet his daughters and for them to learn from her, which he expressed is more important than the money involved. Speak's successful skincare company is a testimony of turning trials into triumph. Since 2020, she said the skincare brand has made a whopping $2.4 million in sales, and she's netted $700,000. The businesswoman's journey impressed all of the sharks, especially Kevin O'Leary. It's hard to make Mr. Wonderful humbled, but I am. Seeing such a young entrepreneur who's had massive success and is already geared up to take off higher, he shared on Twitter.
Wow.
19 and your business is bringing in almost $500,000 annually.
And since 2020 has netted 2.4 million, I believe you said. That is crazy. That is, again, what are we doing wrong, people? No, there's honestly no excuse for us as people to be able to go out there and do something. I mean, for her to, go on Shark Tank, because I know there's an audition process in order for you to even be able to make it on Shark Tank. But then I'm always baffled by those who go on Shark Tank anyway, because you have to not only know your business, you have to know pretty much every aspect of your business. You have to know numbers because you have to give projections. You have to give, what you've already done and what your forecast did. And there's a lot of stuff that goes into, there's a lot of stuff that goes into going on Shark Tank, and to be able to expect whatever questions they're going to throw at you and be ready to answer those questions pretty much on the spot is phenomenal as it is. So for this young lady to actually have her skincare company and to, get passed up on by pretty much all the investors initially, but then have a backstory enough for Mark Cuban to go, you know what? I think I'm going to take a risk on you and take a chance and be able to help you out in the long run. The only caveat is I need you to meet my daughters, X, Y, and Z. That's pretty dope.
Yeah. And I've learned to realize that there are some of us who have that entrepreneur spirit and who wants to, do whatever it takes to get it done and learn from mistakes, redo it and try again. But for her to have such success, and granted, we don't know how long she's been at her beauty brand and the the formula and all that, but for her to have the wherewithal and the confidence and and almost like, if I don't, what will have happened or what could happen? And her wish has come true. So
only 19.
At 19, yeah. So I too can see her to be a future shark. I'm definitely going to be interested in watching that episode specifically, just to hear more about her backstory as well. Yeah,
that's pretty dope. And to, like I said, to have the invitation to come back as a future shark is pretty dope as well, because they just don't have anybody sit up on the panel as a shark on Shark Tank. That's pretty dope story. Finally, in our last story, the CW has ordered its second series set against the HBCU experience. The network has greenlighted March, an 8-episode series that revolves around the Prairie View A&M University marching band, the Marching Storm. March debuted Monday at 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern Time, and then it moves to Sunday starting February 27th from 9 to 10 p.m. Eastern Time. The series chronicles the pressure-filled journey to become the highest-ranked HBCU band in the land, including electrifying performances at Homecoming, Texas A&M, and Southern University. As March shares the personal and unique stories of individual members and staff of the over 300-person marching band, it also explores the legacy and culture of Prairie View A&M and highlights how the Marching Storm band is an integral part of that rich history. Now, me personally, have attended a HBCU and also having had been in an HBCU band. I definitely am looking forward to this series. I know we caught one episode when it first premiered.
I thoroughly enjoyed it.
I really enjoy, the marching band life, the HBCU life. Usually a lot of people, when they go to, HBCU or specifically football games for HBCUs, a lot of them go for the marching band, even though there's a football game going on. A lot of people actually go because the band is what keeps the audience hype, or the crowd hype. They keep the actual football players and the coaches hyped and everything else. So and to actually see that being showed on TV, and I'm pretty sure they won't show everything because there's a lot that goes on. I know in the first episode that we actually happened to catch, they were actually preparing for their homecoming, and even watching, I'm going, there's a lot of stuff that they're leaving out because not only do you have to perform for the homecoming or halftime show or whatever, then you have to prepare for your the parade. You have to prepare for anything that you actually may do on the on the way to and from campus.
Okay.
There's a lot that goes into putting on a halftime or a marching band performance at an HBCU.
So tell me this, because unfortunately I didn't have the privilege of attending an HBCU, and although I really wish I would have, I attended a PWI. But to your comment that you made, you said it's the band that keeps the game going, the crowd hype. So they play throughout the game and not just at halftime?
Yeah, so first of all, the band doesn't even show up on time. No, they do, because they usually have to play the national anthem and even the Black national anthem at a lot of HBCUs.
Okay.
But yeah, so the band shows up, they do the opening performance, which is, like I said, the national anthems, and then they perform literally marching back into their stands. And so even after marching back into their stands, yes, they actually perform throughout the game. Okay. And then they leave the stands somewhere about second quarter to prepare for halftime. Do the halftime show, march back into the stands after halftime, where they then may get a small break to get something to eat, go to the bathroom, do whatever they want, so on and so forth, just to come back by the start of the fourth quarter to perform for the entire fourth quarter. And I know when I was in school, I don't know if it's changed, is that was some time ago, they had something called the fifth quarter. The fifth quarter was strictly for the band, because in sports there's usually, for most sports anyway, there's usually 4 quarters. And there's the fifth quarter, and the fifth quarter actually shows where it's literally just the band. It's usually the 2 schools that are competing. Okay. Their bands going against one another, playing songs or cadences if it's the drum line or other different parts of the band that may, even perform against one another as well.
So kind of similar to the Battle of the Bands we attended a few months back.
Pretty much.
I thought was so dope. Seeing all of the bands that attended or participated, go back and forth in the musical banter, as I like to call it. It was electrifying and just gave me a little bit of taste of what an HBCU homecoming is like. Yeah,
I definitely like going back to homecoming when we have the opportunity. Unfortunately, we know the past year or two has been COVID, and I know personally we've been out of town for another homecoming or so. But yeah, homecoming experience is like none other, especially at an HBCU. Okay. And to be there to enjoy the band and like I said, the camaraderie and see all your classmates and so forth, is definitely an experience to be had. And I encourage anybody out there, if you have not had an opportunity to go to an HBCU, go during homecoming season. Go, to even I know there are certain schools, that actually do not have football teams, so their homecoming season is during their basketball season. So you even go check out a basketball game, go check out a football game. I know a lot of other HBCUs have gotten into other sports, and sometimes the bands even perform for those. So yeah, I definitely look forward to catching the CW and watching the show March, that again chronicles the life of Prairie View A&M's band, The Storm. As they actually, it's funny because in the first episode they show that they're not ranked number 1, and their goal is to be ranked number 1.
Okay.
So yeah, it's pretty dope how they put all that together.
Well, I'm still hoping that our younger kids will choose to attend an HBCU just so that I can kind of live vicariously.
Well, we have one. We do have one that goes to North Carolina A&T. So we can live vicariously through him right now. But we have, two more that will hopefully decide to go to an HBCU so we can, enjoy life through them and not embarrass them at the same time.
Exactly.
We thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of RETV News Break.
Be sure to subscribe to the RETV YouTube channel and Facebook pages for more great news and shows.
We look forward to seeing you again next week right here on RETV. Until then, be blessed and be great.
Hey, it's your girl Tia Robertson. I'm the host of Entrepreneur Insider. Right here on RETV. Every Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern for entrepreneurs and news that you need to know about. See you there.
Welcome to What's Going On? My name is Demita Joe. Each Wednesday, you can find me here at 3 p.m. I'll be over here discussing different things that are going on and try to bring you a boost of positivity for your week because we all need this. We're going to share some feel-good stories. We might find a hometown hero. We may take a look at some trending topic. And sometimes we might even find a lesson in a not-so-warm and fuzzy story if we can. I'm Demita Joe, and I'll see you guys on the next episode right here on What's Going On?
Growing up in the church, we saw a lot. Things that people refuse to talk about. The elephants in the room. Mental illness, sexual abuse, broken families, domestic violence, and so much more. The Big E, The Elephant in the Room, is a show that sheds light on these topics. We're here to speak about the unspeakable.